The fortunate thing, the place I'm in, I'm not in physical danger. And, frankly, a lot of the staff, they're trying to be helpful. They're trying to, do what they can given the constraints. But, no one wants to be in prison. And you can imagine what happens when you take sort of 40 people, all of whom have been at least charged with crimes, and lock them in a single room for years on end and throw out the key, which is the most trivial things become all that people have left to.
Hey, Craig, I don't think the video's showing on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, what is going on, man?
I just happen to be monitoring it in studio, and I can see it's not showing. Shit is fucking crazy, bro. Let me see if it's showing now.
So how are you sharing it? You're just sharing the screen?
Yeah, like normal.
Yeah. I share videos. I don't share a screen. They'll take more resources.
Oh, really? Okay.
But then yesterday I noticed like something got updated. I shared one video and started like lagging like crazy, and I was like, "What is going on, dude, bro? Their memory management must have gotten worse."
Yeah, I don't know what they've done. They've added some extra features.
Yeah, I saw that.
Let me add this. Shit. Yeah, I did.
Care about.
Yes. Have you had any problems?
Not of the sort of acute kind. Like I haven't had, I haven't been attacked or anything like that. I've had a lot of logistical problems. And, the biggest, frankly, was when I was on trial, trying to get access to legal work was nearly impossible. I would, on a typical trial day, they'd wake me up at 4 a.m. I'd spend 5 hours in various buses, vans, and holding cells until my trial started in the morning. Then trial straight through to 5 p.m., another 4 hours in holding cells and vans. I'd get back at 9 p.m., way after any access to legal work was cut off for the day. So that was the biggest problem.
So what do you do all day when you're not on trial?
Well, it's a really good question because there's not a whole lot to do in prison. I read books. I've, started reading novels again. I play some chess, and I work on my legal case to the extent I can. There's appeal, there are other things. I do what work I can from in here on that, but the lack of other meaningful things to spend my time on is one of the most kind of soul-crushing things about prison.
I gotta say, we've never talked before, but obviously I've watched you from afar to avoid one in prison. I'll just say, call me liberal. But you do seem kind of healthier and less jumpy, I have to say, after 2 years in prison.
I've had a lot of time to reflect on how to communicate. And in retrospect, I think I was not effective at communicating, especially when the crisis first hit. And, in the months thereafter, I made a mistake I often make. I get swept up in details and forget to communicate the bigger picture.
You seem like you were just flying high on Adderall every time I saw you on TV. You don't seem that way now. Were you?
No, I wasn't, but I was, my mind was racing because there were, a billion things to keep track of. It was sort of typically back when I was running FTX, I'd go on to have an interview, but, while on the interview, there would be two issues I'd have to resolve with the company. So I'd have sort of one eye on Slack open, responding to messages. And I knew that I had something else I had to do right after the interview that I hadn't had time to prepare for yet, that I was sort of preparing for in the back of my mind.
So maybe like the digital world is bad for us. Is that?
Yeah. World. At the end of the
He seems like he's adapted very well to prison, doesn't he?
Come on, that's minimum like security, right?
Shit, I don't know. He's in a rough ass prison, though, man. He's in there with Puffy.
Day, it's, but
he's Puffy's roommate.
He's Puffy's roommate.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Puffy's
I
roommate.
will say that when I say that, it's less from a perspective of like enjoyment or